Weight pushing down onto those handlebars. So it's in that position, pressing on the handlebars, drop the clutch with plenty of throttle. As the bike moves, slide back with it.
With his crash helmet firmly on and his bike roaring, Len showed us how a racing start ought to be done. Len seemed to reach about 40 miles an hour in as many feet. It looked terrifying, but this is what we'd come to learn, so I took the plunge.
Not bad at all.
Boy, it's good, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got hold of that pretty good.
To show the first start wasn't a fluke, Len made me do it again. It was just as frightening the second time.
I was quite impressed with Pete's performance, and Len seemed to think he was going well too. Then it was my turn.
See how you do now.
I was really scared. It took all my nerve to pick the moment and let go. I was amazed it worked, just like Len said it would, and to really make sure we learnt this lesson well, Len made us do start after start after start.
To finish the lesson, we had to do a start together. You can practice on your own, but the only way to tell if you're making any progress is to compete with someone else. I must say I felt quite confident at the end though, Johnny, didn't you?
Not too bad, better than at the beginning of the lesson anyway.
Well, that was very good, lads.
Thanks,
well,
Len.
indeed. Well, having learned how to start, now you must learn how to corner. Can you help me out a minute for my feet? Thank you. Now, the thing to remember in cornering is that you do not sit on the saddle. You stand in the footrest and you put your left foot out, your right leg straight, and a little bit of weight on the left foot. And that's the reason why you have those steel shoes fitted to the bottom of your boot so they can slide over the ground easily. As you turn the throttle on, the back wheel will slide outwards and you'll go round the corner in a nice slide like that.
Oh, you give us a demonstration then, Len.
This is what Speedway's all about, roaring around the track at over 60 miles an hour on a powerful machine with no brakes. Len made it look really easy.
Yeah, he certainly did. Of course, deliberately skidding like this on a specially designed motorbike is the quickest and safest way of getting round the bends. It's something you couldn't possibly do on a push bike.
No, and it's something we didn't do too well on Speedway bikes either.
Yeah, I agree. Feeling my back wheel starting to slide from under me was quite frightening.
When the bike does start to slide, the important thing is to keep the speed up, and that's the hardest thing to learn.
Yes, the natural thing you want to do is to slow down, something Len told us we must never do, otherwise we'd really get into trouble.
We managed quite well, but when we rode back to see Len, I certainly wasn't prepared for what he said next.
Ah! Well, lads, you're well tired, but you've done very well indeed. In fact, you've done so well, I'm going to put you in a race.
Our invitation race took place the same evening in front of all the Hackney Speedway fans. There were thousands of them, but of course they weren't turning up just to see us. The first part of the evening was a Gold Cup match between the Hackney Hawks and King's Lynn.
Our race was due to take place at about 9 o'clock, so we spent our time watching the action, particularly in the pits where riders and mechanics were tuning and repairing their bikes.
Then our two opponents came to say hello.
So, I've just disconnected your clutch.
They were Terry Barkley and Mark Coombs, two 14-year-olds who told us they'd been attending the training school every Saturday for the past 6 months.
Then the mechanics came to warm up our bikes. Mine fired first time, which not only started the motorbike engine, but started butterflies in my stomach as well.
My bike wouldn't start at all, and that's when the action really started. Len dashed in and told the mechanics to get me another bike. Then the pit marshal rushed in and told me I had to be at the starting grid in 1 minute. Len told me not to worry about the new bike, just remember to do what I'd been taught, and I'd be all right. As we all went out onto the track on our way to the starting grid, my bike felt very strange. It seemed more powerful than my practice bike, and I wasn't sure if I could control it. But with thousands of people watching, I just had to carry on and try my best.
the inside position at the grid was Terry Barkley, who, although he'd never ridden in front of a crowd before, looked very confident. I was next, very glad to have a face mask to protect my face from any dirt thrown up from the track by riders in front. Mark Coombs was on the other side of me in the white helmet, and like Terry, this was his first race in front of a crowd too.
I was on the outside with a yellow and black helmet, not feeling confident at all. The tension was mounting in the stadium. The tape went up and we roared off.
Mark and Terry streaked out in front and the race was on.
It's on the bends that experience counts, so we weren't surprised when Mark and Terry shot ahead. After the first lap, it was a race for last between John and me. We still had Mark and Terry in sight, so I decided to make an all-out effort to catch them. And that was my mistake. The bike started to slide, and in a flash, I was out of control.
I didn't realise anything had happened or anybody had fallen until I saw red lights flashing and marshals sort of waving me down. I'm glad to still see you still in three pieces, though.
I think I was very lucky to get away with it, actually.
It looked a very dangerous sport. I think you were both very brave.
Oh, we thought so.